Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald at Clayville near Pleasant Plains, where for the last several years they've had an education program here for kids of elementary school age. This is sort of a typical Thursday at Clayville during the spring. Today, 90 kids from Pleasant Plains are here learning what it was like to grow up on the prairie in the 1830s. Debbie, Eddie, the rain just stopped, the sun has come out, and it's a typical day at Clayville, isn't it?
It is.
90-some kids running all over the place.
Yes, just about.
Oh,
just about.
Look what we...
Oh, look, they just collected the eggs. Very
my
nice.
goodness, has anybody counted those eggs?
No.
Well, count them for us.
Yeah,
count them for us.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, don't break them. Don't break them. You don't have to pull them out. Here, come over here. Let's see those eggs. Yeah. Okay, so did we get a count? No? No? Here. There you go. Yeah, let's see those eggs. Okay, count them like this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. What do you think?
Very.
Am I right?
Yeah. That's a lot of that's a lot
Okay,
of
Alexis, do you have them? You hold it. Okay, you hold it.
Can you go put them back underneath in the chicken coop? Okay,
Debbie, this is how the kids feed themselves on the pioneer days.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So they had to gather the eggs, of
Right.
course, bring them into to Mom.
Right.
Mom would count them
That's
to make sure that they were
That's
all
right.
there, and then fry them up for them for breakfast.
Yeah.
But there's also things going on over here. You've got an apple press, right?
Yes. We have an apple press. It's original from the beginning of when Clayville was restored. Right now it's not functioning, and we're working on that.
Yeah.
We're working on that.
Maybe by the fall, when the apples come in, they'll be able to turn
You
that
think?
apple press.
Okay. We have a corn
Let's go take a
grinder
look. Let's
over
go take a
here.
look. This way, Debbie. Okay, yeah, show us what we're doing.
Guys, can you show them grinding
Oh,
the
my
corn?
goodness. Here. Come on over here. There you go. Why now? She's pretty strong.
Yes, she is.
Now, would you show us, sir, what you put in there? What's going on there? How does that work?
Actually, this is Indian corn.
I want you to do the talking here, Debbie, if you would.
Okay.
If you just show us there, sir.
Yes, if you'll do it, then it's Indian corn.
Yeah.
Because
Can
the
we see it?
pioneers only had Indian corn. There was no.
So it's like a wild corn, sort of?
No.
No?
The Indians had it here, and so the pioneers had it.
Okay, all right. So,
Instead of the white or yellow corn, sweet
right.
corn that we are familiar with. And then we pour it into the top.
would you do that for us?
Can you pour it into the top?
Okay, just a little bit at a time. And then even a child was able to do that.
Sure. And then it would be taken into the kitchen with the eggs, and they could make cornbread, other things from it, flapjacks. Yeah. Don't stick your finger in there. Yes.
So kids learn that not all food comes from the grocery store, right?
Exactly. For them, none of it came from the grocery store.
Absolutely. It was all hard work,
That's
wasn't
right.
it?
That's
Everything
right.
was hard work.
Yes.
Nothing was processed.
Yes.
Everything was hard
Yes.
work.
Now, can we show you their version of a vacuum cleaner?
Would you?
Okay. How about you guys that were beating the rugs? Can you come with us?
Yeah. Let's go see what else we got in store here.
Yes. Okay, you want to beat the rug? How about Cora, you show her how to beat the rug. Now, why did they, guys that were here with me, why did they have to beat the rug? Why?
Because to get all the dirt out.
Right, and what did they not have?
Vacuum.
Yeah, they didn't have vacuum, so everybody stand back. She's gonna swing.
Okay.
Hit her hard. There you go, and you gotta keep hitting it.
Yeah, a little more. Whoa.
Okay, now, Kerrigan needs a turn.
Can I go next? I want to go.
Okay, now the kids
Careful,
that haven't
watch
done
out, she's
this,
got a
can
big
you
swing.
help them do this? Okay. Now, those of you who've not had a turn yet, Miss Linda's going to help you take your turn, okay?
Watch out. Whoa.
Okay.
Watch out, you're going to backswing.
And stay back, yes.
Stay
Now let's
back.
go over to the cabin where they're cooking.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, Debbie, we're in the Batterton cabin,
Yes.
and this is where the cooking demonstration is going on. This
Yes.
cabin that we're in is 200 years old.
Yes.
I'm
This year
holding-
is its birthday.
It's remarkable. I'm holding a certificate here, which is there going to be a plaque on this
Right.
house, right? 200 years old, and the Clayville folks moved this here.
Yes.
This is the oldest building on the property.
Right. It is.
Perfect place for kids to find a demonstration about how
That's right.
food used to be made.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's
so,
right.
So this is, we're going to churn some butter. Is that right? What are these
Right.
kids going to learn today here?
They're learning about, again, food did not come from a store,
Mm-hmm.
that they had to make it themselves. And so they're taking turns. There's cream in.
there's real cream in there,
There's real
huh?
cream in the crock.
Mm-hmm.
They're really going, by the end of the day, we will have butter.
Mm-hmm.
We will have butter.
Yeah, but it was hard work, wasn't
Yes.
it? I mean, it wasn't, that little girl thinks, oh, I'll just pump this for a little bit.
By the end of the day, those kids won't be thinking that.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
They'll have calluses, blisters,
That's
and
right.
sore muscles from
Yes.
pumping that churn all day.
Yes.
And
Yes.
is that Charlie there that's showing
Yes.
him? Okay, he's one of your volunteers.
Yes, Charlie is one of our volunteers, a member, and a descendant of the people who built the cabin.
Oh, well, he feels right at home here
Yes,
then,
he
doesn't
does.
he?
Yes.
Okay. So he's going to show him, we saw the corn being ground over there. So the cornmeal was brought over here.
Right.
Then you add the egg and the butter,
Right.
and you've got corn.
We don't have a cow, so we.
Well, maybe next time. Maybe
Maybe
what do we
next
say?
time.
By the fall, maybe we'll have the apple twister.
Right.
Maybe we'll have the cow.
Maybe
by the
we'll have
fall.
a cow. That's right. That's right.
Settlers would
Yes.
go ahead and build a brick home.
So there they go with the butter, and maybe by the end of the day we'll be able to actually. Oh, look at that face! Look at
We'll
that.
see the butter.
Now, I told you all.
One of the
That's
things
cute.
that we stress whenever we're planning for kids to come here is hands-on. That we want them to do things, experience it, because you learn by doing.
That's right. That's
So-
right. And back in the old day, they wished they had to do a little less.
Yes.
Now kids want to do a little
Yes.
more, but they
That's
wish
right.
that they had to do a little less.
That's right. So from the chores
To the cooking.
to the, right, to the
And kids
cooking.
this age would not have been too young to help in the kitchen, would
Right,
they?
right.
And they weren't going to school for the most part. They
No.
were probably educated at home. So
Right,
this is
right.
what they had to learn to do.
Right. At one point, there was a school here at Clayville that the Broadwells built and provided for the children of the area, the children of their workers,
Mm-hmm.
and like that. So there was
Sad in is we could probably push you
there was a school.
down the river. This is a brick home.
Paddle you down the river. Yes.
Okay.
Now we want to do.
Well, it looks like he's getting ready here. He's going
Right.
to show him something or other. So,
Right, he's
but I'll
getting
tell you
ready.
What, it's so hot next to this fire. I think
know.
we're going to take a little break.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Let's go that way.
Okay.
I'll let the teachers hand it to you if you want to come around.
Charlene, we got a big move going on here, right?
Right.
These kids are now transplanted back to the 1830s, and they're moving. Their whole family's moving to central Illinois, and they're coming in from Beardstown because they came up the Illinois River, right?
Right.
So they're coming in to Clayville from Beardstown, and they have to remember to bring everything they're going to need to start living on the prairie.
Right.
So you've got them here, and you've got the covered wagon. What happens? What happens from here on?
Well, they have to take items to eat with. So they have to bring their flour, cornmeal, sugar, salt's very important to preserve things. And we've talked about how we find water out here. If they're coming from Beardstown, they know there's a high water level. They can dig into the ground,
Yeah.
and the water seeps up. To find a creek, they look for tracks, animal tracks. They follow the birds because they drink at noon, and the
Yeah.
animals eat in the early evening and early morning.
Okay. So this little girl, she's going to start. She's going to pack the wagon, right? She's going to help pack the wagon.
Now, what is this for?
What does she? Okay. What does she need? What is?
Well, they're taking a broom with them here, so they can sweep out the ground, or sometimes you sweep out the wagon. You can sweep out your your cast iron pots with a little broom to keep it clean, because you're not going to go to the faucet and get running water to wash them
And
with.
some small items you take because you don't want to have to make everything
Right.
once you get there. You know, it would take a long time to make that broom.
Right.
They got more important things to do. They got to make beds and furniture, and they've got to plant corn and everything, don't
Right,
they?
and you start out with a few extra things, and if your oxen breaks its leg or dies along the way, then you start taking things out of the wagon, and you start with those things that aren't necessary. So
Yeah.
that might be something that's dropped along the way.
And okay, she's packed the broom, and now we got another little girl, and she's gonna pick something else to pack. Let's see what she chooses. Okay, she wants a small item too. What has she picked? Would you hold that up for us? Hold it up. What has she chosen?
She has a wooden spatula. She could use that to make butter with or to cook with.
Okay.
And maybe someone along the way has whittled that for them. And another thing that can be discarded if they don't need it.
So they're learning in the other room. They were learning how to churn butter and grind corn, etc. And they were learning how to cook it. In here, they have to learn how to pack all the materials they're going to need to take with them to eat. Okay, let's see what this little boy does. One more shot. Let's see what he picks up.
Something big?
Oh, you want something? How about something big?
How about two boys?
Do we have another boy? Yeah. Okay, good. Let's see.
Let's see. We got a
Here,
big.
you stay here because I think you're going to need help with this. What would be in the chest, Charlene?
Clothing.
Okay, hey big guys, let's pick this chest up and pack it on the wagon. What do you say?
There's another handle on
The other side. You have to pull this
Back
out.
here. There you go. Oh yeah, I think you
There's
guys can
teamwork
handle it.
here.
I think you can.
Okay.
Okay, all right around the back. Okay, so a chest would have whatever, probably
linens
those two little boys, exactly everything, all the clothes they owned would probably fit in there. And look at them.
And
That's
you're lucky if you have 2 sets of clothes to wear. Do you want to tell them where you slept at?
Oh man.
Families are big.
Oh yeah. And all in one cabin. If you had a cabin, when they moved somewhere, they had to build the cabin, right?
And
there
when
wasn't
they
a cabin
moved, they
there.
didn't get a ride in that wagon. They slept outside.
Yeah.
And they pull a canvas over and you took quilts.
Tough
in those,
times.
with lots of children.
Yeah. Thank you, Charlene. This is really interesting to see what they choose and how they react to having
Guys, what would they use this
on the move.
bucket for? Yeah, so do they need to take it with them?
Virgene, the kids had to make everything, didn't they, back in the 1830s? So what do we see going on here?
Well, we see doll making. They had to use every bit of resource they had. Perhaps their mother, grandmother, aunt had knitted something and they got the leftover yarn, and so they're making dolls.
And so, of course, these kids got yarn given to them, but these kids would probably, in the 1830s, they'd probably have to sort of scrounge up whatever they could find, right?
Yes, right. Any kind of thread or toys. You know, they had to make all their toys, and I'm sure they probably visited their grandfathers, fathers out in the barn they could have made the dolls out of straw also.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yarn would have been maybe not readily available, but they knew how to spin yarn, and they could make materials, couldn't they, for the
They
kids?
sure could. They sure could. And the kids all seem to enjoy this. Even, I wondered about the boys, if they'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
And they do. I'll give it to my baby, or they and of course these are first graders, so they're not concerned about the boy-girl thing.
Well, you know what I think? I think they like just getting their hands on stuff and feeling how it is. Like look at this little fella here. Are you making a doll? Did you tie it off? Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
She's helping.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
But
Right.
they know how to make. They got to have a head, right? And a neck and the body of the doll. They're getting
the
it.
kits are made up for the head and the body and the arms, and they can braid this. They can leave a skirt. They can make scarecrow legs, or they can braid. So yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, we're going to take a little walk. There's another table, and over here, they're putting together some jewelry, I think.
Beads.
So let's just go over there very slowly.
Okay.
Let's go right under here.
All righty.
She's going to show us. We got to get everyone's heads tied first.
We're leaving the doll table, and we're going to this. We're going to go past to this table over here. There we go, Virgene. And let's just see what we got here.
We got.
Ooh, that is beautiful.
I hear that's beautiful. Okay, it is beautiful. Now they had beads, I guess, didn't they? Beads
They had
were pretty
beads,
available.
or
Yeah.
perhaps they made them out of clay or of dirt, and did a hole. I think the kids get a string and 20 beads to make, and they can have any color combinations they want. Yeah.
And on the prairie, of course, the string and I guess glass beads were available all over the world. They were probably kind of hard to come by, but I imagine they made
From
glass beads.
the tinkers or whoever
Sure.
went through selling stuff. And perhaps somebody came to spend the night, and that's how they paid for their lodging, was with beads or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
You know, I heard that, you know, without the volunteers here, they couldn't do this education program at all. And in fact, they could do more if they had more volunteers.
Yes.
And you've been doing this for a while. You help out, don't you?
Yes, I do.
In a big way.
At least 5 years, maybe longer. I don't know. You know, time flies when you're having fun.
And it looks like you are.
Yes, we do. We do. And we work hard. You know, we do the cleaning, the make up, get ready for parties, festivals, whatever. You know, if the bathrooms need cleaning or the floor needs scrubbing or we need to greet people or give tours, we're here.
And on the days when the kids show up, you got to be a bunch of you here because these kids with the hands-on stuff, there's got to be some supervision for sure.
Right, yeah.
That's terrific.
Right, yeah. They're great kids. Last summer we had over 600 children all total, so it was it was a good summer. We were shocked when we were through. We tried have kids 2 different days. It's too much, so we're back to 1 day a week. It's not only the kids here, but then, you know, it's all the prep. All these kits have to be put back together. So I watch Illinois Stories and wind the yarn.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, right.
Virgene, thank you for visiting
you're
with
welcome.
us.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. My goodness. It's a wonderful experience for everybody. Yeah.
Dan Usherwood, it's been some years since Illinois Story's been out to Clayville, and we were out here, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago.
Either 2010 or early 2011.
Okay, well that would be 6, 7 years ago. This place had been cleaned up, and it was remarkable what had been cleared out of here. But even some of the buildings they weren't in any condition that they are now. It is really a community out here now.
At that time we had not really started the actual renovation. We were just pretty much cleaning things up and what have you. As you look at the inn now, you can see the porches are back on for the first time in 100 years. All new windows, new doors. The renovation of the inn is complete.
You know, and people don't know this about Clayville, but in the middle of nowhere, where Clayville was, for there to be a brick building in 1824 of this stature was unheard of.
Peter Cartwright, in his biography, later in life, talked about what an amazing thing it was to arrive here on this prairie in 1824 and find those brick houses.
Absolutely, and one this big. This was a palace.
Yes.
Because people were living in log cabins, if that.
And the inside of it was all plaster and lath and wallpapered. It was amazing.
Yes, it was. And when we were here last, you had no windows. The windows were boarded up, and now of course it's looking really, really good. And that is a chore in itself because you don't just order windows; they got to be just right.
We had to have these windows handmade in Waterloo, Illinois. The building's been completely tuck pointed.
Yep.
The new porch is put on there, the new roof put on it. We have plastered and the women's parlor to show how it would have been. We couldn't afford to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
And then as we look around, I mean, it's not just that, but you're working on all kinds of projects around here because if you look at the 360, you can see that you've got a lot going on. You're putting the log cabin that's partially built up here is going to be your schoolhouse, huh?
Yes, and that's the Jesse Gum cabin, comes from Clary Grove. Jesse Gum was the first person to hire Abraham Lincoln to be a surveyor.
Okay.
So that cabin will be our schoolhouse, and construction will begin officially on it this coming Monday.
And then just to the left of that, you see the old barn-looking building. That's going to be your agriculture museum. You've got it loaded with old stuff.
We do.
Need to clean it up and get it ready, right?
We do, yes. And eventually we'll be able to show an evolution of agriculture in this area from the 1820s up until about the 1860s.
Yeah. And back around to our left again, you'll see that the blacksmith shop now, it looks like they're getting ready to entertain some kids in there. And kids also don't know that you couldn't survive on the prairie without a blacksmith. You needed horseshoes, you needed tools, and they made everything, didn't they?
Door hinges, cooking utensils, they did everything for you.
Yep. And then if we come around to this big building, this barn building, that is now complete, and you've got that for all the activities that you need here at Clayville, but it's also for rent. I mean, people can get married in there or have a dance or whatever they want to do.
We do. We host probably 8 or 10 weddings here a year. a number of birthday parties, family reunions, baby showers, whatever. And we've added a second layer there with a balcony up there, so we can now seat about 140 people in there.
And we mentioned the old log cabin down here, which is going to be 200 years old later on this year, and you're going to have a big celebration for that.
Big celebration in July 1st of this year. We'll be putting a plaque on the door and inviting descendants of the Batterton family back here for the celebration of the 200th birthday.
But for this day, it's all about education.
It is.
And you know what, we really need to recognize a couple of people, because there are a couple of women that have worked tirelessly over the last 10 years to make sure that this pioneer education is available to kids. And you can thank them if you want to, because I think they've just been terrific.
I will, but I want to first of all say this is the promise kept. Our goal when we formed the Pleasant Plains Historical Society, number one was to save and renovate these buildings. Number two was to provide education for young kids. And so now these teachers can set up a program here choosing from 40 different activities that they're going to do with their children here during the day, ranging from chores to a nature trail to mathematics of the 1820s and what have you.
These kids won't forget this. And I also don't want to forget the ladies I was talking about were Betty Frankie and the name of the other one, the Brandt.
Evelyn Thomas.
They have been
Betty
so
Frankie.
giving about making sure that the resources were here to let the teachers do what they do.
They have. And then we're so blessed to have a group of retired teachers here. Debbie, Edie, and Charlene Bersan head up the program, and they've designed the whole program, and they work endless hours and to make this happen.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Mark.
Debbie, it's pandemonium in here.
Yes, it is.
This is dress up.
Yes.
We're in the Broadwell Inn.
That's right.
And this would have been, I guess, the dining room or something like that?
Right, we call it the keeping room, but it would have been the dining room.
And the point here is for these kids to learn what the 1830s children on the prairie would have worn.
Right.
And boy, it takes them no time at all to get into these clothes,
That's
doesn't
right. They're fast little dressers.
Okay, let's start with the girls over here. Now, does she have that on right?
She has the dress on right, but the hat's backwards.
Okay, so the bonnet's backwards.
There you go.
She's going to attempt now to. I don't think she likes us having fun at her expense.
There, she's straight.
Okay, now she's got it on right. Good for you. Okay, now, and it looks like she's getting ready to go to bed. The one in the blue there looks like she might be getting ready to go to bed.
Could be.
Yeah.
Now, girls, there are some more hats and shawls on the table.
Well, they're just going to go through that. It's amazing.
That's right.
Now, there was a group in here before, so somebody was in charge of keeping this tidy and folding it all back up again.
I'm impressed that they got it so neat.
They did. They really did. They just having the time of their life.
Oh, every little kid likes to play dress up.
Oh, sure. Okay, now the bonnets are always a big deal with the...
Yes.
And, of course, you have to have some help, so we have teachers and parents here who are helping the boys.
Right.
The boys seem to like the Civil War hats,
Yes.
pretty much, don't they?
We have a couple of Abraham Lincoln suits, a couple of Confederate suits, Union suits, cowboys,
And
lots of hats.
And some of them wear two hats at once. They can't get enough hats on.
They can't decide.
Okay, but the Abraham Lincoln, they like that, or they sort of, oh sure, there's a little fella back here.
Yeah.
Now, do you know you're dressed like Abraham Lincoln? No, put the hat on for us.
Oh.
Put the hat on for
Here,
us.
this goes this way.
Yeah. There you go. Oh my goodness.
There.
Abraham Lincoln on the
There
prairie.
you go. There you go.
And the bonnets, of course. Oh, I know. And the bonnets are so pretty.
Oh my,
Bonnets
she's
are
got
so
a big
pretty.
one too.
Yeah, now what is she? Oh my goodness, she has like 3 different outfits on over there. She's...
Okay, now did you find the mirror?
No.
There's a mirror over there in the corner.
And there's one right behind
Yes,
me
there's
too.
one-
You want to
and
look
there's
in the
one-
mirror
there's
here?
one right back over
Here, little
there.
girl. Here, look.
There's one right over there.
Look over here.
What do you want me to do with this?
Oh, she's having the time of her life. Oh, very pretty, very pretty. So let me ask you this. Where does Pleasant Plains Historical Society come up with all these clothes? You don't make them, do you?
No, we purchased some. It's amazing the number of people who have stuff like this and they donate it to us.
Is that right? Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Isn't that
It's
nice?
just unbelievable.
All they have to do is hear that it's for the kids and they're ready to do
That's
it.
right. That's right.
Oh, look at that. Now she's She's going to try to get into this. I'm not sure she's doing the right thing, but oh my goodness, she's just about disappeared.
Yeah, so she's going to be a Civil War belle.
She'll remember this forever. I don't know that it's going to be the best lesson they ever learned, but they're going to remember it forever.
They're going to remember it, and then they're going to go for. Yeah, Linda, you can take them for a parade over to the barn. Okay.
So they can show off.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. When you get dressed up.
Why dress up if you can't show off?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You've got this on backwards.
Oh my goodness. The bonnets are just a little much for these kids. They can't get enough bonnets.
It's too big, babe. It's just too big. It's falling off your head. It's so cute. Look at that.
Okay, so they're going to go.
There you go.
Oh, they're looking in the mirror. Look
yes,
there.
they found the mirror.
Oh my goodness.
It's way too big for your head.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right, going outside.
All right. Well, they're all disappearing now, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this up.
Okay.
Debbie, thank you so much for your help today.
Well, thank you for
and
coming.
I don't want you to get those kids out of your sight too
that's
long
right,
because
yes.
they might get in trouble. Thank you so much, okay?
Thank you for coming.
All right.
It's been fun.
It sure has.
Yes.
The education program here at Pleasant Plains is in its fourth year. In these last 2 years, it has really picked up. They're going to educate more than 500 kids just this year alone. And coming up, after here in Pleasant Plains, the kids from Rochester, Chatham, and some other school districts are going to spend a day out here. With another Illinois story in Pleasant Plains at Clayville, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send 1995 to Network Knowledge, P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.